This is excerpted from the seminar entitled The Gospel of Mary and Magdalenic Gnosis, which is found with many other seminars in the Western Mystery tradition at wisdomseminars.org. This is Module 3 of the Gospel of Mary, and these modules are from 45 minutes to an hour long. They're multimedia lecture presentations. And this is from the third module, and it is an explanation of the ascent and descent of the soul as generally understood in the Hellenistic period.
Now, we're going to look at the theory of the descent of the macrocosmic soul, which comes from the fixed realm of the zodiac originally, for incarnation in birth. So here is basically what you will find in the Timaeus of Plato and the Kore Cosmou of Trismegistus and so on. And this is a basic kind of idea that people have of where the soul originates and how it goes through different processes. First of all, there are spheres or rulerships. And each of these is established at a distance from the earth. At the outermost distance, we have Kronos, or what we would think of as Saturn. He's a deity, he's a power, he's authority. He's an authority that is set there to rule. It's a limit, it's a gateway, he's a gatekeeper. And so we refer to these as the powers and principalities that Paul talks about. These are the authorities, and they govern many, many things about human beings, what kinds of personality they're going to have, what kinds of fate they're going to have, and so on. And then at the that was at the seventh sphere. At the sixth sphere, we have another god. The god Jupiter is associated with this, or Zeus, in some schemes of thought. And then we have the fifth, Mars. The fourth, we have the sun. The third, we have Venus. The second, Mercury, and at the very lowest and closest to the Earth, the moon. And the moon is beneath the lunar sphere. Now, these are beings. These are gods. These are called daimoni, demons. Now, you must understand that to the Greeks, the word demon didn't mean a devil, but it meant a little god. It meant a lower god, an inferior god, the one that rules under the higher gods. So it's a lower, but above us it's a much higher authority, but below the highest gods it's a lower authority, so to speak, in the astral world. And these powers and principalities rule many things about us. For example, when we are first born into the earth, we descend through these seven spheres. And whatever position or whatever configuration these ruling lights are in at the moment we're born, and it changes and goes through hundreds of millions of possible combinations at all times, we pick that up. Our soul picks that up because our soul is a microcosm of that macrocosm. And so the harmony of our own spheres inside of our own soul picks up by sympathy exactly the same vibration and the same configuration, and that moment in time in which we are born gives us our ethos, our astral or sidereal ethos, which is known to the Hebrews as the nephesh, and to us as your personality. And that is what the horoscope is about. The horoscope is a map of that moment in time when you took your first breath. That's the time that you came down from the heavens, you took your first breath. And so this is what the descent of the microcosmic soul through the macrocosm and incarnation and birth is, and it determines many things about whether you be short or tall, musically talented, fat or thin, what kinds of fate you will have, and all this sort of thing. Now, after death, the soul yearns to return to its abode, its place of origin, the divine energies in the zodiac in the sky, the energies of the psyche, the soul. But the psychic energies are trapped in the earth. They're trapped by the kinds of things that they have generated in their own lives, because their life on earth has been, for the philosopher, the point of the life on earth has been to purify the soul by following the direction of the right, the philosopher's way, by following the motions of good Keizer, by doing the right things and being sensitive to the promptings of the higher worlds. The soul grows, and the soul loses its bondage to the things that are in the earth and the energies that come out of the sky. So the soul's going to have to leave this planet, and he's going to have to ascend through the lunar sphere from the sublunary world, and through the sphere of, we will call the sphere of Hermes, and the sphere of Venus. Now let's represent the sphere of Venus by the daimon, by the demon, the avenger, the torturer, the gatekeeper that stays there. Now remember, you have picked up all that you are and all you know of yourself, your personality, your nephesh, your sidereal body, from the configuration that was implanted through sympathy onto the harmonia of the spheres in your own microcosmic soul. So everything that you picked up has two aspects. It's like a double-edged sword. It has the good and the bad. And what you have to do is overcome the disharmonies in order to get it through the harmonies of the spheres. Well, let's look at this third harmony. This is the sphere of Venus. Sphere of, in the positive sense, artistic things and love and sweetness and music and so on. But on the negative side, selfish desire, gluttony, overdoing of things, overweening desire, etc. Let's say that you as a person may not have overcome all these elements that you have in yourself. Now, you have to not only overcome that, but you have to overcome the negative parts of all the other things that you have inherited from the rulers, the rulers of Hymarmene. So when the time comes for your death, you try to ascend. Your soul tries to leave the body behind. The body decays, and your soul is free, and it goes through the first sphere, the second sphere, but it gets to the third sphere. It cannot go any farther, because at that point you are pulled back by the negative lusts and desires and unfulfilled things of your life, and you return to life again sometime later through the process known as reincarnation. However, let's say that instead you have been a person who has purified yourself. You've purified your animal instincts and desires. You've purified all the things in you that would lead to injustice and anger and disharmonies, and you've made yourself, attuned yourself to heaven. So when you die, you're going to ascend through all the spheres. You will hit each one of these gatekeepers, and you will be able to go right through. And you will ascend to the 8th sphere, the Ogdoad, the 8th heaven, where the saints and the holy ones have gathered, and they work from there to teach and help human beings telepathically.
Please go to wisdomseminars.org for a complete catalog of all the seminars available. Thank you.